Just you and I, Amy.
I see lots of people.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not
it's-
just you and I.
I only see you.
Oh, aren't you lucky? Did you press grid view again?
Pardon me? Oh, there they go. There's Larry.
Did you press the grid view again?
No, I got everybody now.
Oh my God, it's being so slow.
Welcome back,
Leo?
everybody. Welcome back to our regular council meeting for May 6, 2020. We call the meeting to order.
Sorry, Lloyd, we're not on YouTube and Randy's gone.
Uh,
Okay. So we're on YouTube. We're just waiting for Randy to sign in here. Looks like he's there. He just doesn't have his video on.
you think he's there?
It looks like he is. He's just not showing us himself. Maybe I'll try to call him.
Did anybody have any other plans for tonight?
He's gonna try to connect with his phone instead of his laptop and see if that works.
Did we not buy him an iPad?
Yes. Can we start without him or should we keep waiting?
No, I was just about to make a decision here. I'll
Oh,
call the meeting.
he's trying with his phone now.
He's what?
Sorry, he's disconnected with his phone, so we'll see if that works. Just give it a couple seconds. There he is.
You back with us, Randy? Close enough. I'll call the meeting to order. Any additions to the agenda? Larry?
Yeah, after all that, I lost my thought. I have a couple of things that I would like on the agenda, but it's when we get to the road stuff. So would it go on the roads agenda or?
No,
you
I would
like-
say you should probably add it now, Larry.
Okay, so I have to get to the roads agenda, but if I remember, it was, so Queensborough Road update. Pigden Road update, only I would believe in closed session. And maybe I'd like to talk about the shouldering of the Cooper Road. Those three agenda items, they're all roads items.
Everybody fine with all that?
Won't be long.
Everybody's good with that? You got it all, Amanda? Okay. With that, could I have the approval of the agenda, please?
Sure, I'll approve.
Amy and Carrie, all in favor? Carrie. Declaration of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof. Seeing none. Could I have adoption of the minutes of April 15th of 2020, please?
If I may, sir,
Yes,
did we rescind the old motion for the lead hand in camera or out of camera? If it's in camera, it won't matter on this minutes, but if it's out of camera, it's not on either minute.
what was the motion, Randy?
To rescind the lead hand, and the new motion was made to do without the lead hand. It's
Can you
not
help
on
me
either.
out on that? Can you help me out on that, Amanda?
Yeah, I'm just looking here. Just give me 1 sec.
It's not on the previous or the in-camera one, so I just wondered what one it belonged on.
It's on page 7. Motion 189. It's on page 7 of the April 15th meetings. Sorry, it's motion 2190. Passed by Carrie and Larry.
On what minutes?
The April 15th minutes.
If it's there, I only go to 20. You say 20, what's the number? The number?
20-190. On page 7.
Yeah, that's to direct, but we also did a rescinding of the previous motion.
Oh, I believe that was done in closed session.
Okay,
I believe, yes, I believe that was enclosed.
okay, it's not, okay, so we can move forward. It's not in the closed session either that I could find.
Okay.
I can double check my notes on that.
Yes, okay,
Thank you.
I'll move.
You moved, Larry seconded. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Statutory public meetings, we have none. Planning matters, we have none. Presentations and delegations, we have none. Staff reports, clerk planning, Amanda.
So first on my report is public planning meetings. It's up to the municipality's discretion if they want to postpone the meetings until after the emergency order is lifted. The decision's up to you guys. I recommend that we do hold off until the emergency order is lifted because those meetings are supposed to involve the public. And I don't know how effective it would be if we can't be in the room together.
Comments?
What kind of meeting are you planning here? Or is these are just on?
So these public planning meetings are, for us, usually it's a rezoning or a minor variance.
I would
Or
say if it's an emergency that we do this. If it's not an emergency, then we wait till we're done. The emergency from the province.
Carrie?
Do we have any applications at present?
We have one application, but it's already been approved. It does include a rezoning, but the planning department has extended all of those due dates to wait until after the emergency order is lifted, if that's what we choose to do.
I think it's best that we wait. I think it just makes sense. The public should be involved.
Okay.
And from a county standpoint, we haven't been having even our planning or actually any of our committee meetings at the county level. Now we're hoping to get back on doing virtual ones next month. Our county staff's been overwhelmed dealing with a lot of all these other issues. So planning to really, even any consent applications we got out there, they're not being dealt with at the moment. So, okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So the next thing on my report is the agreement that we got from the commissionaires. If anyone has read that, it's pretty much everything we're talking about.
Has everybody read that word for word?
Yep.
Is everybody good? Everybody good with that? Okay.
So is that Carrie and Larry?
Carrie
Sure.
and Larry to sign that agreement or approve that agreement. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
So then the next item is that we have to actually appoint Kevin Gauthier as the bylaw enforcement officer. There will be a bylaw coming, but we're gonna wait until after the agreement's actually been signed. But we need to appoint him in the meantime so he can deal with any of our complaints.
Could I ask for a resolution to do so? Larry?
I'll
Amy?
make a motion, we appoint.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just on a side note, he was here today, so we did get to have a chat with him and kind of give him the feel for the township, and I think it's gonna go pretty well.
Okay, I have one thing there, Amanda, I think, what I would like to see with that, once he's appointed and once we get him enrolled here or on duty, I'd like to see him come to a council meeting because I think council has some input on priorities. I know I do. But I think we could do that as a council and just introduce ourselves and try to get them off on the right foot.
Yeah, sure. I'll ask him to attend. this is his
Amanda.
first week, so,
Larry?
yep.
Yeah, Amanda, you've certainly done all the work when it comes to this, on behalf of our township. I'm on the board, but, a board member doesn't do a lot of work you do. And you've done a great job here.
Thank you.
Do you know, Amanda, if this is gonna be on our board meetings once a month, or how does this gentleman work with our board that we have set up?
So I'm assuming that he's gonna go to the board and meet the board. But for right now, for timing, he will go to each municipality, excuse me, on his designated day, which he hasn't even made a schedule yet until he meets everyone. He'll try and work that out.
Okay,
If we ask him to come to council meetings, he should be coming and he will give us a report, I believe weekly, to give to
Okay.
council.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, is that everything we need there?
Yep.
Okay.
So the next thing I was bringing forward was the request complaint procedure. We've just had some complaints come through lately, and I wanted to make sure that everyone was still okay with the procedure and how we deal with the complaints.
Comments? Larry?
Well, I had a taxpayer come to me with a complaint about 2 locations, which I mentioned to all of you a couple of months ago. So I pondered on how to really, like, I wasn't quite sure how to deal with this issue. After talking to a very expert person in the bylaw business, I took their advice and sent a complaint form to the township on behalf of a taxpayer, hoping that I have not been involved. I do not plan on being involved in the process, but I did send the complaint on behalf of the taxpayer. So I would hope that the process now follows the regular procedure, and I just hope that we can work this way. And I think it's a good way to include your council in the complaint process without interfering with what staff has to do. I'm not sure how the rest of you feel.
Comments? Amy?
So, does that mean that we should amend the policy under anonymous complaints? Like Larry, did you put the name of who you were? Yeah, so I just wonder if under anonymous complaints, we should amend it somehow, because it does say the township will not accept anonymous request complaints as there is not enough information provided. But I know you put in the complaint for the taxpayer. So is that how we got?
Okay,
around
so
it?
what I was hoping that we could see is that it really isn't an anonymous complaint because it was given to people by a person. There was no doubt who made the complaint. I made it on behalf of someone else who is very reluctant to talk to anybody about this because, in all honesty, our office, our business, let's say it this way, our business has big ears. If you can keep this to one person, then there's a hope that those big ears aren't out there. And you can be sure I'm never going to tell you that person was. Never. And I think that this is a good way to deal with the issue. We do have a role, I believe, as a municipal elected person to represent everybody when they have a problem. And all I tried to do was work around this so that staff are the people that do the work. I am not involved with the process other than I delivered the complaint.
I'm gonna turn to our professional here. Carrie, comment?
The one thing that I would say is that the complainant needs to be advised that, yeah, we collect that information under the Freedom of Information and we wouldn't give that out anyways. However, Larry, they could still end up in court someday. Like if that complaint went all the way through the process and actually ended up in a litigious manner in a court system, there is a possibility that they could get involved in the sense that they were the original complainant to you. So there is always a chance that they may get involved in something and their name may come out. So it's just something to make sure you're aware of when you talk to them as well. Because in theory, it isn't anonymous, right? You do have a complainant. It's just that complainant wishes to not be identified through the process. So if we need to change the policy, perhaps, but I think it's important that the big piece is that your complainant understands, even though they were anonymous, they still could end up in a process in some way.
Amy?
So I did wonder that if we should amend the policy in saying that a council member can fill out a complaint form for a taxpayer. I don't know. Thoughts?
Larry? Larry?
Well, let Carrie go. I'd like to hear what Carrie has to
Yeah.
say.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
no, I was just going to say, I mean, absolutely, we can tweak our policies, right? That's what they're for. We can evolve them as we go. Even when I read through it, it still could be interpreted. You could still kind of interpret it as he's doing what he should be, like he's making that complaint. That happens to me quite a bit. A counselor may come to me and say, I received a complaint. And so I'm going to accept it as a complaint, So at the end of the day, we could change it, but I think right now he's still meeting the intent of the policy, I think.
Okay, thank you for that. Yep. Okay, we good you good with that for now?
Sure. I don't have a problem. I hear what Carrie's saying, and I'd like to see this follow through the way it is, and let's just keep an eye on how it works. I don't plan on having any more involvement with this. I did all I'm going to do. It's up to the
Thank you for
staff.
that.
It's up to the staff and the commissioner to do the rest, not me. And I made that quite clear to the person that gave me the complaint.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Jason.
So we
Okay,
can just leave that policy for now.
I think so, Amanda. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Okay, the next thing on my list is the transition to full producer responsibility. This is in regards to recycling. Larry and I did have a chat earlier in the day about this, and he suggested, and I agree, that if we're going to make a resolution for this, should take it to the Quinte Waste Solution Board and have a resolution be submitted on behalf of the multiple municipalities that are included in that board.
Does everybody know what they're talking about here? Yep. Okay, Larry?
So Amanda just basically said what the motion should be.
Yep.
And so I'd like to make a motion that we do. I can't say it any better. Do what Amanda just told us, and take it to the Quinte Waste Board. And I'll speak to it if I can get the motion on the floor, and I'll tell you why I think I'd like to see this happen this way.
I have a seconder for that motion. Gary? Comments to that motion?
So the reason I'd like to see it done this way instead of us making out our own our letter, sending a letter, is that I think it has a lot more, we have a lot more influence if we're seen as the board doing it than each small municipality. So I think it's very important that we do it. But I just think that it will have a little more meaning if it comes from the board. And I know the board's thoughts on this. There's all kinds of time been spent on working on this. We have a day here in May that we're gonna have a virtual retreat. And we're gonna talk all about this. And I hope to bring back more information on this after that day that we have this virtual retreat. So in the meantime, I'd ask that we do the motion and carry forward as Amanda has told us.
Any more comments on this? All in favor? Carried.
Thanks, Amanda.
You're welcome. So next on my list is every year the health unit asks for the municipality's permission for them to do their West Nile virus preparedness and prevention plan. That gives them the authority to apply for the permits they need to use anything that they need and feel necessary to remove the threat of West Nile virus. So I just need the resolution that I can write them a letter saying that Madoc Township's okay with it.
Very-
So last couple of years, they haven't had to do anything either. I'll just throw that in there.
Carrie? You're moving it? Carrie, Amy, all in favor? Carried.
Okay, and then next on my list is some completed request complaint forms. I think there was one that may have needed some discussion, but that was up to if you guys have that discussion or not, or if you're okay with them.
Any questions or concerns or comments on the complaint request? None? Motion to accept the complaint form. Carrie, or sorry, Amy and Randy. All in favor? Carried.
And then just a resolution to accept the report.
Randy, Amy, all in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on to Anne Marie. Treasurer Administrator.
Okay.
Go ahead, Anne Marie.
In front of everyone, is the unaudited financial statement for March of 2020. Any questions?
Questions or concerns on the financial statement?
Do we get our HST back, Emery?
Yes,
Okay, so when we paid for the grader, we added HST, but we didn't budget for the HST because we get it back, is that right?
that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna have a resolution.
Under cleaning services, Mr. Chair,
Yes,
are we doing the audited, am I on the right one?
unaudited financial statement, yes.
I'll just wait. No, I'm not on the right one. I'm on the other one. Sorry about that. I have no more there.
Can I have Amy?
I just have one question on page 3, under Madoc Township Building Accessible Upgrade. Year to date, we're at 34,557. Are we on track to be on budget with that? Because we budgeted 50.
Yes, we are.
right? Okay.
That's almost wrapped up anyway, Marie, right?
Yep.
Any more questions or comments on the financial statement? Motion to approve the financial statement. Carrie. Larry, all in favor? Carried.
Okay. Voucher listing in the amount of $383,940.25. Any questions?
Amy,
No, actually, I don't. Larry asked the right question that I was gonna ask about the 79,000 grader.
right,
and
you
asked-
come up
Yeah,
green
yes,
there, that's
please.
why I asked.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not muted.
That's okay. Could I have somebody make a resolution to pay the accounts?
Well, Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
so is there 2 months cleaning on this or is this 1 month?
They clean every
There's-
week.
Oh, they clean? We pay $226 every week?
They're doing extra cleaning right now because of the pandemic.
Really?
Yes,
In the hall or just where they clean?
everywhere. Because we're still using the facilities, the kitchen's still being used, roads, everything is still being used, so they're still coming to clean. And they're doing good cleaning for all the high touch surfaces.
What do we normally pay for cleaning?
That's the normal price.
Really? Okay.
Any
Everybody
other
good?
questions?
Resolution, please. Carrie? Randy? All in favor?
Okay, earlier we had the 2020 budget presentation. So I'm asking for a resolution that council pass the 2020 municipal budget as amended in the amount of $3,820,300,000, which is a 1.42% tax increase.
Resolution? Carrie? Amy? All in favor? Carried.
Modernization funding for fire protection service review has been approved. I sent requests out and have only had one respondent showing interest. So I'd like to know if council would like to approve this company, Emergency Management and Training Incorporated, to start this review.
Questions?
Have,
Randy? Well, Larry?
have we talked to anybody that has had these people do a review?
I have not personally talked to anybody, but in the information packages that everyone received, there's a lot of referrals and work that they've done for other municipalities.
So I, just as we were getting ready for our budget, I had a phone call from a gentleman in Lanark County who's gone through this whole process for Lanark Fire Department. I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow at 2:00 to I'd like to understand a bit about what these people did and what they asked them to do in whatever their review or whatever they did. Some of this looks very, well, intense. I guess that's the word I'd use. In depth, intense, whatever. I don't know. Jason, you read all this? Because I like your opinion.
I haven't read through all of it yet there, but I mean, I see the services and stuff that they have completed. I was gonna reach out or try to reach out to a couple of departments as well, just to see what their thoughts were, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet, so. I think, you know, being as we've got.
That's all. I don't have any other comment, Mr. Chair, other than I certainly would like to speak to someone before we ask these people to do this.
Did their quote fall within our allotted funding, Anne Marie?
Our budget, when I sent in, we're receiving 30,000. And their quote is 31,776. So it's within reason. Time is a concern too. They have to have the report completed by mid-September. I have to do an interim report by mid-June. So if we even put this off, that's fine for this meeting, but we'll need to make a decision by next council meeting.
Larry?
Well, I would like to wait till the next council meeting so that we can gather a bit of information. This is the first we ever saw this, so there's a lot to this. I think if we're gonna do a review, we need to be very careful of how we do this. And I would just like to speak to somebody that's gone through the process to see how they feel. And the person I'm going to speak to is the fire chief. So he probably would be able to talk to us and give us an idea of what he went through, and, you know, did they get what they asked for, I guess. And I'd also like everybody on the council and staff to make sure that we all take a really good look at this to see if we have questions. I just basically looked at this today. So I would like a little more time to consider where we're spending our money and to make sure we do get value for what we're doing.
So is the resolution then to defer this to the May 20th meeting?
Other comments, Amy?
I'd like a resolution to direct staff to call the 3 references on there. I mean, this is $31,000 in an important review that you just don't hand to anyone, even though it's just our only quote. So I think all 3 references on there need to be called and asked how they did. And so that's what I would say.
That's a good point. Yeah. Is that a resolution, Amy?
Yes.
To defer and to consult the references?
Yep, all 3.
Move. Second, Carrie? All in favor of that?
Sure.
Yeah, I only have one comment. Is it, like, I've seen a few of these. Are consulting firms made aware of funding that municipalities get to do this sort of thing?
Some of them, yes.
I've never seen a quote come in much off of what you're being given.
Yeah, I know. One of the consulting companies said we were too small. Didn't want to deal with us.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
But they
No, I
are
just
aware.
thought Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I heard what you're saying loud and clear, and I thought the same thing. I don't know where they get their numbers, but it's like somebody told them we got $30,000. So their estimate is $30,000. Like,
Yeah.
I don't,
Yep,
I
anyway, just a thought. All in
I-
favor of that motion? That's carried. Go ahead, Emery.
I would just like the Fire Chief Jason to help me out with some of these calls and this investigation, I guess we want to call it.
Yeah, that's
Thank you,
fine.
Jason.
And I have another comment. Maybe
Go ahead.
we could even get one of the final reports that they handed one of the three, if they could forward that to you to see what it looks like and what information that they got.
Okay,
All right.
okay, carry on, Emery.
Just accept my report as presented.
Motion to do so. Yeah, Amy. Andy, all in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
We're moving on to working roads. Mike?
Just an update on stuff. We're actually doing fairly well with our spring grading. Shortly we can start into our calcium. Guys actually are doing a great job, and we've had many great comments about it. So I've passed them along. Right, makes us feel great. We've been sweeping aprons along Cooper Road, and we swept some sand up in front of the township school. Just coal patching, trying to get our coal patching done. Cleaning out culverts, trying to get a handle on our beaver problem. In saying that, I don't know if with the person that looks after our beavers, that's a kind of a gray area. It's an on and off again, so I don't know if we can discuss that at some point. I don't know if you want to discuss it in a closed session or not. And then the new graders here, it's working well. Queensboro Road. I met with, I talked to Dan and Al. I met with Greenwood and Al the next morning. Greenwood was out. We've marked some problem areas. Kent would wait. They're planning on coming back. It would be roughly 3 weeks to address the problem areas that need to be redone. So there'll be, they can't just do patches, little patches here and there. It has to be a full lane. And it's going to be, a certain amount, right, of the problem area. Like, we're not just going to do little, it's if there's a problem area, it won't be just a small section, right? It'll be that whole problem area. But they're fairly large patches, what they're going to fix. In talking with Dan and Al, there is one area that we have a section of guardrail right from day one. Since it's been disturbed, it's a pretty steep ditch. Anyways, there's some erosion. Al's going to come in and fix the erosion issues. That's pretty much my update, but Al's supposed to start fixing the erosion issues right away. But Kent doesn't want to start to repair the road until after it warms up. So he's saying roughly 3 weeks before he starts up his township operation, and that would be the first road he'll address this year. I'm not sure if anybody has any questions on that. on Queensboro Road.
Questions?
So how large are the patches? A quarter of a mile, a kilometer, or and where are they?
They're all over the road. There's sections, problem areas that we've marked out. Kent would like to, we've kind of marked sections here and there. But he closer to the time, to make sure, you know, he wants to do a few tests. And that'll determine, you know, if the section needs to be longer than what we've actually looked at.
So do we have, so if they fix that, the question I would have is, so it gets fixed.
Mhm.
It looks great. Next spring, if the problem doesn't go away, what do we do?
That's one of the questions that I haven't addressed it yet, but I've been meaning to ask him. I will call Kent and ask him, and get you an answer right away.
I guess the problem, yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. It might not be like, are they positive? It's the hard top that is the problem and not compaction?
That's in talking to Jewel and Danfords, yes. Kent is pushing more towards it's an oil issue than a compaction issue.
Okay, they know, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, he's been doing it for quite some time, so I'm just going off of their expertise, right, too.
Yeah. I just say, Mr. Chair, that we have a problem. If there's any way that this warranty is extended because of the problem,
yep.
I think that we need something in writing from somebody that makes sure that we don't just fall by the wayside after another winter and it all breaks up again. That's all.
Yeah, I
No,
agree.
I totally agree.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else got any more comments on Queensboro Road? Amy?
No, all my questions were addressed. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
And I
It's
guess,
just-
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, just the other thing was the shouldering. Larry wanted to talk about shouldering on Cooper Road. That was the only other thing.
So, okay, so we had talked about asking for quotes, or maybe not a tender, I don't know, tender or quotes from a couple of companies. I'm not gonna make names, but we both know who probably would apply if we put it out there. I just think that with all that's going on, there are companies that we deal with that are definitely going to be looking for work and might be able to do some work for us at a very reasonable price. I'd like to see us take the opportunity to put this out there for these guys to give us a price at. So if it's okay with everybody, I'd like to make a motion that we do that and ask for prices on shouldering that Cooper Road to see what kind of cost we do get from someone. We might be able to come up with some pretty significant savings. I don't know, but I would put that motion on the floor.
Randy?
I'd like to second that motion.
Comments?
Can I speak? So
Yes.
when we do a price, when I'm asked to do a price for us to do the work, I do the price at our equipment cost.
Yes.
Our equipment cost is quite a lot cheaper than us to hire I hire a contractor to work with me. There's quite a significant difference versus having a contractor come in, right? I mean, for example, a grader, you're looking at $145 an hour versus our cost of what we charge out, right?
I'll only make one comment, Mike. Just because we go fishing, we don't have to keep the fish. Meaning if we price it, we don't have to hire them. We're just want to see where it's coming out at.
Yep.
Really, I think the way I look at it, it's really from your workload standpoint. If we can afford to have it done cheap enough and to take the workload pressure off you, then that's a good thing. Now, if it comes in with a ridiculous price, it's back on you. So just because we're out there fishing don't mean we're hiring somebody. So I had a motion and I had a seconder. All in favor of that motion? Carrie, Randy, or Carrie, Amy, you all in favor of that? Carrie's froze up on me.
Can you hear me? Am I still frozen?
Yes. Yes.
You can hear me though?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm good.
You're good? Okay,
Yep.
motion's carried.
Okay, and then I guess the other issue is we're addressing in the closed session of.
Yes, I think so, Mike.
I think so
Yes.
too. I think it'd be a good idea. Okay,
Thank you.
and so I just asked you guys to accept my report.
Before we do that, Amanda, can we add to the session minutes now? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, we'll move on to Fire Chief. Jason, thanks, Mike.
So as everybody can see there, really not a lot with the fire side of things, other than a couple of bylaw requests that you've asked me to take care of, which you can see there that I have. The response kit there, or the decon kit that I actually did order one in the past there, but as I said, it's I think it's a good idea, right? Like we're going into these fires, we're coming out, we're throwing the stuff in our bags and bringing it home, right? So I mean, I just think it's a good way to start bettering, our practices. So if we can move forward with that one, that'd be great. I don't know, I guess it's under my threshold, so I don't need to ask for a resolution on that one. But and then, is there any questions about the items 2 and 3? Some of them were probably sprung on everybody, but there was actually 2 complaints that come in over that item 2 there, but dealing with the one kind of solved the second one as well. So
Questions for Jason? No questions for Jason? Okay, carry on, Jason.
it's not, I guess I don't even know if I can bring it up because it's not in my report. There was a call yesterday, no, not to bring up. It's nothing major, it doesn't have any I don't think there's anything to bother. I just wanted to make sure with council. So we had a fire call in Tudor Cashel Township. It was a Limerick call, but we requested mutual aid with Madoc Township, and I requested for a pumper and a tanker because of the location. And I just wanted to make sure that council's okay. I mean, basically with following the terms of the contract that we have, supplying fire services for Tudor Cashel, it all kind of comes into play. So I just want to make sure that everybody's okay with me calling and using that service, or should I be rethinking what I am doing there? So, is that too vague?
Comments?
No. I don't know the fire agreement, so I'm not saying nothing.
Well, part of that fire agreement, I think part of that fire agreement, Larry, was to make sure when we're doing mutual aid or fulfilling agreements that we do leave some equipment at home. To make sure we're covered here, but sometimes Jason needs more than what. Yeah, it's up to his discretion as long as we're not caught short here at home. But if we're caught short here, then the mutual aid agreement moves south and they move in to cover us anyway, right, Jason? So.
That's exactly right. So that's the thing, like under the mutual aid, I know I'm fine to do so. And I did leave the equipment here to cover our own municipality. It was just that, again, with the terms of the agreement there, if Limerick's called out for a fire in Tudor Cashel Township, they're to request tanker support from Madoc Township because we're in that agreement with them, right? So kind of in this one here, we ended up taking a pumper tanker. But still, we'll send them an invoice for that fire. And I know Amanda was waving at us there, so maybe we're breaking the rules, but I just wanted to check. So.
Yeah, because it's not on the agenda, but I was just gonna say too, if you're following your agreement, then there's no problem, I wouldn't
Yeah.
think.
That was my thoughts too. I just wanted to make sure council was aware, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Larry?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, so Amanda, could we possibly get a date set where we could have our first fire committee meeting with the appropriate people at the table? I'm not sure if we have to do it this way or not, Jason, but if we do, maybe. Did you have ideas on that, Amanda? How we might do that, or Jason?
Well, we don't have to set the meeting day in council. We can call the meeting whenever everyone has the time to meet together at the same time. Well, probably over Zoom, but we can set that up in the next couple days, see what everyone's schedules are.
Okay, it might be something we want to do because I would think that the fire committee with everybody on it, and Amanda, that we could, that'd be a good way to work with these people that are doing our review, I would hope. What else would the committee be for?
Mhm.
So, and we have good representation from a broad spectrum. Amanda with her expertise and Jason. So if we could get a committee together, meeting, maybe we could come up with some ideas on how we move forward with this review and what we actually are looking for, because we never really discussed that. All we did was ask for a review of the fire department. Well, that's great, but like there's maybe a better way of putting that forward if we actually meet and talk about it and have a chance to think about it. I'd like to hear other people's comments on that to see what they think.
If I may, the committee was requested, the committee was put together. Get at her.
Thank you, sir. We will.
Can I
Amy?
say something? I do
Yep.
think too, maybe another useful piece of information regarding the fire review would be, like, what was the proposal that was put together by Anne-Marie? Like, I don't know how, Anne-Marie, how in detail you went into your proposal or your request to the fire service agreement companies. I don't know what kind of information.
sorry. Is that something we want to do now, or do we want to do this with the first committee meeting?
Can I answer that? Let's have the committee take this from here. Then report back to
Okey-dokey.
report back to council.
Set a meeting date then, Amanda. We'll move forward, sir.
Thank you. And anything else for Jason?
Nope.
Thank you. Thank you,
Just-
Jason.
Thanks.
Motion to
Just accept-
accept Jason's report. I got people coming and going like crazy here.
Just
Carrie,
pick
you got your
somebody.
hand up? Carrie, Randy, yeah. You guys are just like a bunch of checkers here.
I see that on my end too.
Okay, Carrie and Randy, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, moving on. Bylaw officer. Report. Somebody. Carrie? Carrie moves to accept the report. Anybody else? Barry? Is that our actual bylaw enforcement officer?
Sorry, that one's still Gord.
Pardon me?
That one report is still from Gord.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Think we lost somebody, sir.
yeah,
Yeah, I just messaged her to try and get back in again.
well, I think we can accept that report. So I think I had a motion there. Carrie and Randy, I think, all in favor on that one.
I don't know why this one's so difficult. She's trying.
This is my third meeting doing this week, and it really starting to try my patience.
Yeah, I don't know what it is tonight. She should be coming up here.
Too many school kids doing their homework.
Yeah. I'm back.
You're back?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we done one Tuesday night where I couldn't even see Carrie.
Oh. Oh, there I am.
There you are. Now we're back. Okay,
Sorry. No, my question was just, I think when I read that fire review, it said that that they read the request document and fully understand the desired goals and objectives. So I just wondered if Emery could even forward it to us, the fire committee, of what you put that we wanted. So we're on the same page. That was just a thought.
And I had made the suggestion that the fire committee discuss that. I'll bring it all there at whenever our meeting's going to be, rather than here now at council.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, report of advisory committees. Committee of a whole for budget. Fourth budget meeting. Somebody want to approve those 10.1, 10.2 all at the same time, please?
Randy will, I phoned her, or I sent her an email showing her a couple places that there were just small corrections to be made with just a word and a date, and but I'll make a motion with the amendments.
Moved by Randy, second by Larry, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Report of statutory committees, boards, and external agencies. We have two. A resolution for both of those. Yeah, Amy. Carried, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Correspondence. In that whole list of correspondence, did everybody get the additions on the Mapleton Township ones? Everybody? Is there any of that correspondence you want to discuss or questions? If not, the motion to receive and file correspondence.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask Anne Marie to explain that farm thing to us, 75%. Well, to me, anyway, maybe everybody else understands it. But that thing from Mapleton, so are they wanting to put, is that so that a municipality like ours receives 100% of taxes from a farm person instead of the 25% we maybe presently receive, and the other 75% comes from the province, which is collected through taxes from, say, everybody in the province, including cities? I don't understand it.
That's the right answer, Larry. You answered yourself.
I read it, but I wasn't sure if that's what it meant.
Yeah, that's what it means.
So I guess a municipality like ours would benefit from that happening. The farmers wouldn't pay anymore. The monies would come from residents throughout the province because the farmers feed the province.
Yes, that's how I understand it.
Okay.
You don't have any problem with that, Amy?
I guess when you asked for reviewing one class, like one tax rate class, like, so should they be reviewing the whole system to be fair? That would be my comment. I don't know.
Okay. I motion to receive and file correspondence.
Sure, I'll make a motion.
Larry, Amy, or Carrie, sorry. All in favor? Carried.
Thanks, Anne Marie.
You're welcome.
We're moving into bylaws. Amanda.
So the first bylaw we have is bylaw 1535-2020. And it's a bylaw to establish the rate of remuneration for municipal council in the township of Madoc.
A first and a second and a third reading.
Yay, yay, yay.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, that
Next.
was Larry and
Larry and Carrie.
thank you. Okay, so the next one is bylaw 1544-2020. And it's a bylaw to authorize an agreement for security guard services between Canadian Corps of Commissioners, Kingston and Region, or the Commissioners, and the Township of Sterling Rawdon, the Municipality of Tweed, the Township of Deserano, the Township of Madoc, and the Township of Tyne-Mega.
A first and a second and a third.
Yay.
Randy and Amy. All in favor? Carried.
Okay, so our next one is bylaw number 1545-2020, which is a bylaw to adopt the estimates for the corporation of the Township of Madoc and to provide for the adoption of tax rates and to further provide for penalty and interest in default of payment thereof for 2020.
First, second, and a third reading.
Yep.
Larry, Randy, all in favor? Yes.
So I'll do the confirmatory bylaw now, and we can adjourn and go into closed session. So the confirmatory bylaw is bylaw number 1546-2020. And it's a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Township of Madoc meeting held on May 6, 2020.
A first, second, and a third reading. Amy and Carrie. All in favor? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So we have to close that meeting, then go into a closed session?
Yeah.
Amanda? Yeah, so we have to, since we're online, we have to adjourn that meeting and go into a closed session. I have a motion to adjourn that one, please. Gary and Larry, all in favor?
So now you just need to let YouTube catch up with us, and then we can go into closed session.